Hey everyone, welcome back. It is cocktail hour today. Our drink this afternoon will be the Americano. Not to be confused with the coffee drink Americano, which makes this very confusing when you order things at restaurants. The Americano comes from the 1860s. So it's been around for quite a while. Comes from Milan, Italy. Where it originally had a different name, which I'm going to forget, Milano something. Anyways, had a different name to begin with, but during Prohibition is when it became very popular. And it became very popular amongst all the Americans who were going over to Europe to drink, because we couldn't do that here. Or drink legally, anyways. So the cocktail eventually got the nickname the Americano. It's more or less a softer, more delicate, more summertime version of a Negroni. And actually, supposedly, the Negroni came out of this eventually. The Negroni's a bit more bitter with gin, a little bit higher alcohol. This is, again, one of those, like, summer porch sippers that I really quite like. It's a little bitter, but we're going to soften it with a little bit of orange bitters. We're going to soften it with some orange twist. So it's something that you can drink pretty easily. And if you're not a huge fan of those bitter type cocktails like Negronis or things of that nature, this might be a good starting spot for you. So let's get right into it. First thing we will need will be the classic spirit of Milan. Campari is our first item today. Then, of course, some Italian vermouth. Manoli Pratt, which is almost gone, and that's a good thing. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I generally try not to keep vermouth for more than a month. But with the way things have been, this is probably a month and a half. It's getting just a touch long in the tooth. I do keep it refrigerated so it'll last longer. But I'm going to try and use this up in the next couple of days just so I can have a fresh bottle and things will taste better. Or I can cook with it at this point. We'll see. See how today's tastes. We are going to need some orange bitters. I'm going to go with my Urban Moonshine today. It's just got a little bit more high tone, true orange characteristic to it. And lastly, some nice chilled soda water. This is one of those cocktails that you could probably build straight in the glass, but I like a little bit more thorough mixing to it. So I'm just going to give today's drink a short shake. We're going to do 1.5 ounces of both our vermouth and our Campari. That'll be fine for today. Ounce and a half there. 1.5 ounces here. And then I'm going to hit a few drops or a couple dashes of my orange bitters. If you don't have orange bitters, I would avoid the bitters altogether. I'm going to throw a few cubes in here. I'm going to go crazy this afternoon. Give this a short shake. Just a couple seconds, enough to chill and incorporate. Grab my highball glass, fill that with ice. You can use a rocks glass here. I just like the highball in this instance. Strain that in. Should be somewhere around 2/3 of the volume, half to 2/3, and then the rest soda water. You can throw an orange wedge on here. Of course, as I've mentioned several times before, what a wedge can do, a twist can do better. So I'm going to grab a nice long twist here. Express all my oils over the top. So I've expressed this pretty much all over the top. I'm going to cut it down A nice long, thin ribbon here. Another few nice twists out of this one. I'm not going to bother really mix the soda into the Campari. I'm going to dive a straw in here in a moment, and that's going to take care of most of what I need to do. So I can leave that there, take my straw, plunge that in. We have ourselves an Americano. Bitter, herbal, but lovely and light and easy all at the same time. If it's a little too bitter for you, you can plunge a little bit of orange juice in here and help soften things up a bit. That wouldn't be inappropriate. If it winds up being really too bitter for you, which could entirely be the case because Campari's something that most of us Americans don't drink very often. I happen to love it. But if it's too much, go with something like Aperol, which is going to have a much softer orange connotation and characteristic to it. And it's basically an Aperol spritz at that point, but with sweet vermouth, and it's pretty fun. Cheers, everyone.